In this video tutorial, I will show you how to quickly set up Google Analytics web tracking on any website and landing page in just a few minutes. In a short time, you can track any conversion action with just a few clicks. First of all, of course, you need to have an account. Google Analytics, if you don't have one, all you need to do is go to Google Analytics and sign up. And then you will see a screen similar to this one. In the property name, we can clearly enter the name of the site to be tracked or the business. We clearly proceed to configure everything and set it to euros. As we can see, Google itself states that Universal Analytics, which is the previous version of Google Analytics, is no longer supported. So we will do this tutorial on GA4. However, the support in this tutorial also applies to the old Universal Analytics, which we still recommend updating. Let's move forward, select some settings, pause it, and then click on Create. Very well. Here, Google Analytics says Start collecting data. This means that we will be able to choose what to track in this tutorial. Let's see how to clearly track web conversions. In this case, Google Analytics specifically asks for a website to track. Now we just need to go to Framework 360, which is a comprehensive digital marketing platform where we can indeed use very advanced features. To track any type of conversion easily in just a few clicks, let's register by clearly clicking on Login or entering our email in this box. And once registered, we will find ourselves on a screen similar to this one. Perfect. Now, we have our Google Analytics account and our Framework 360 account. Obviously, we will then need a website or a landing page where we decide to track conversions. As we can see, Framework 360 has a lot of modules, including the ability to create landing pages, websites, web commerce sites, and much more. However, what interests us in this video tutorial is the web tracking module. We click on web tracking, and then we should create a web tracking project. Great. Let's pretend that our website is exactly this one we created specifically for this tutorial. We created it on Framework 360, but if we decide to track an external site, perhaps made in WordPress or coded with HTML, we wouldn't have to do anything else. For example, to download the Framework 360 plugin, as we can see. In fact, there is a plugin for WordPress called Framework 360 Connect, which allows you to use all the features of Framework 360 with just a few clicks. Even if you have a site made in WordPress, great. Let's pretend that our site indeed is this one, with a link called tutorial.framework360.it. Let's clearly put it on Google Analytics, removing the initial extension, stream name, let's call it tutorial. We can leave the advanced measurement as Google Analytics with its artificial intelligence suggests that we set some goals that according to it the user has done. Obviously, we would like to be much more precise, so we let Google Analytics perform its advanced measurement anyway. But then we will create our own Google Analytics goals, thanks precisely to the web tracking module of Framework 360. As we can see, in fact, Framework 360 allows tracking of any type of action from purchase, checkout initiation, adding to cart, session duration on the page, how long indeed does a visitor stay on the site, the page scroll, that is, at what scroll percentage the user is viewing the page, clicks on any button, calls, emails, form submissions, content viewing, and much more. Okay, at this point we should just take the ID measurement, which in the case of Google Analytics 4 appears as G333, and then a code, while Universal Analytics appeared with a U at the beginning. We take this measurement ID code, and all we need to do is go into the web tracking module under Google Tracking, and we can enter it where we find Google Analytics in its input or Universal Analytics. If we still have the old version, which we do not recommend, or the GA4 code. Once done, we will just need to save. Once this is done, we can go into goals and start tracking everything that interests us. For example, if on this site we want to track clicks on the button Order Now, which eventually leads to a form, we will just need to click on the click goal and then scroll down, and we will see that it has opened a section that will allow us to enter our parameters. For example, here it asks, what do you want to track? We can, for instance, track clicks on the order button. Now, if we need to track these clicks, we can enter, for example, the phrase Order Now through element text, because it will check that the text says order. Now it will be present in some element when a click occurs on Yexeliba yo Zakobitan do Masante button. Clearly, any element that contains this exact word will then be tracked. But we can also track, for example, clicks on buttons that lead to a destination link. If, for instance, we have a button that leads to facebook.com, we could enter facebook.com here, and the 360 framework will automatically track all clicks on the button that links to facebook.com. We are interested in tracking Order Now. Then here we could call it click on order button now. And this is the interesting part. Indeed, we just need to give it an event name that we remember. Google Analytics requires it to be without spaces, possibly with an underscore. We go inside here in the sidebar, we find configure, and we will see that inside the events there is still nothing. We can also use the debug view to see in real time, because otherwise, to see them inside the events, it takes at least 24 hours, as Google also states. With the debug view, however, we can see it in real time. With this event name, let's give it a name, for example, green button. Okay. Here we could add custom parameters, which is very useful for those who use analytics in a very advanced way. Perfect, let's save our tracking project and access the statistics tab. As we will see, there is still no data in the table. If we reload the page of our website, we will see that by clicking on the green order button, now automatically Framework 360 will have captured the tracking action as we see 3 seconds ago. It also clearly tells us the data of the device that performed this conversion, and we will see that Google Analytics will capture the data. For example, as we can see here, there is already the page view user engagement. If we want, for example, to track this type of form, as we can see here, we should simply click on Submit Form and then select the form we have used that we want to track. We select our form, clearly name the event Contact Form Submission, and then enable third-party tracking for Google Analytics. We create a contact form, close it, save it, and we will see that by always reloading the page and submitting our form with random data, we will see that in the Statistics tab, the submission of this contact form will also be recorded. Here it is. And automatically, the conversions we have set up will be sent to Google Analytics 4. As we can see, indeed, it is very simple to track any type of action on any type of website. As I was saying, if the website is built on Framework 360, it will be enough to use the native integration. In fact, it will clearly suggest the forms because they are clearly present on the platform. If instead we need to integrate an external website, as I was saying, we either use the WordPress plugin if we have a site made in WordPress, or if the site is made in PHP, HTML, or other platforms, we can go under Framework 360 Developers, and then here add our domain. In this case, for example, it could be this one. And here we will take the entire script. And we can place it in the footer or the header of our website. Once this is done, the web tracking will also work on external websites. So, after 24 hours have passed, we will start to see our events coming from Framework 360 on this screen, and we can set them as conversions, as we can see. Indeed, on this screen there are the events that come from Framework 360, and we have marked them as conversions to make them appear in the appropriate tab. Once this is done, the conversions can also be imported into our Google ADS, and we can run our advertising campaigns.